We all better buckle up because today's video is about to get messy. Hello everyone. So today's video is kind of funny. We are setting up a shelf of shame. So as you guys heard, we're getting messy in this video. We are setting up a shelf of shame. So essentially what that is I'm gonna have a designated shelf for the books that I did finish that I didn't rate super high. And I was thinking today what kind of like my lowest rate, don't mind me holding this, it's to start my recording for that. It's actually like a little handheld tripod. I was thinking like what ratings would qualify as poor for me. Now I say that like 3 stars is average for me, or like that's a good book. There is some books that I've rated like 2, 2.5, 2.75 stars that aren't too bad that I won't put on the shelf of shame, but there is some 2.75s that probably should be more like a 2 that are going on the shelf of shame. So without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into the video. Okay, so we've just come down to the floor rather than sitting on a shelf. So these shelves behind me, up the top are like special editions and books that I kind of want on display. They're all special edition books or like collector's editions or whatever. Now, as you can see, I've been accumulating books. This is going to be my shelf of shame, maybe underneath, but at the moment, these are just boxes to like send books out and whatever. And then I have this copy of Binding 13 because I just don't like it. I just don't like this copy, and I've got these ones of Boys of Tommen. So I'm just holding on to this so that if anyone orders the Boys of Tommen series from me, I can include it in that. We have a few books over here. So these are books that I have either DNF'd or I've rated 1 star or half a star. A couple of them I've rated like 2.75. This is one that I rated 2.75 that I really just did not like, and I think it's actually worth less than that. That's How Does It Feel by Jeanene O'Reilly. This is the Infatuated Fae book 1. The only reason why I've kept this is because I do want to read the second book, and the only reason why I want to read the second book is because the way this ended, I'm like, wait, what? So like very unreliable narrator vibes. Then we have Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stevens. I just really did not enjoy this book. I felt like we read 300 pages of nothing. The resolution to the plotline didn't make sense, and I just really did not enjoy this book. This is one that I read recently that you guys know that I did not like, The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I think I rated this half a star. Again, we just went through like 200, like almost 300 pages to just get nowhere. I think it was 258 pages was how long this book was, and the resolution or the ending of the book, just like she was on a mission to find these bones, and for 285 pages she did no searching for said bones, and then they were just kind of dropped in her lap by another character. So that got half a star. And then we have Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, which was a DNF. I remember, I think I got like 90 pages in. I wasn't very far into this, and I remember just being so annoyed by the main characters, by both of them, just the couple in general. I just felt that they were both acting like children, like high school children, and they were like, you know, in their late 20s to early 30s, and just acting like high school children and being really stupid. And I was like, we are adults, we shouldn't be acting like this. And then I have, which again makes me so upset, but I have Bones Deep here, and I also have Knuckles Deep, because this book was actually written as one book and she split it into 2 so that it wasn't as daunting, but I do know that it was supposed to be one book, so I'm putting them together because you can't read Knuckles Deep without reading Bones Deep. And I did DNF Bones Deep by Ivy Graves. This book was, the reason why I DNF'd it was because this is a like dark stalker romance kind of not really. Essentially you're following, I forget her name, Hazy. You're following Hazy. I think it's Hazy and Banks. Yeah, it's Hazy and Banks. So this is about them, and it starts off with you following Hazy, and Hazy is like 16 at the time. She stabs these people that are essentially raping her, and she like gets out of the car, runs, she's covered in blood, it's raining, it's in Melbourne, and she literally runs into Banks. Banks is like, I will have her one day, but like doesn't actually follow up with her, and then they lo and behold both end up in Sydney, and she ends up at his eating disorder clinic, and this is the second time they meet, and again he's like, I need to have her, and then the third time they meet he's kidnapped her and they're already getting freaky. It was just really not for me. It felt like it moved too quickly. It didn't make sense. The story, like, to only meet twice and then kidnap her, which would have been fine. Meeting twice and then kidnapping her, fine. But then to get spicy and for her to enjoy it straight away didn't make sense to me, not with the captive captor trope. when you compare it to something like The Darkest Temptation by Danielle Laurie or Stolen Air by Sophie Lark, that made a lot more sense to me. So they're also on the shelf of shame. Now I'm just looking at my shelves of other books that I can pull off, and there's another one that I know it really irks me every time I think about it, and that is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I think I may have ended up rating this 3 stars, but I don't think it deserves that. I think it deserves more like a 2-star. The reason why I really disliked this, I love dark romance, don't get me wrong, I'm a dark romance girly through and through, and the darker the better to me. But what really irked me and pissed me off about this book was what Michael did and the plans Michael had. There was no way that Rika was going to end up like forgiving him for that. So like it just wasn't at all believable. Like he had no reasoning behind it, if that makes sense. Like I understand why his friends wanted to do it, but I don't understand why he joined in, if that makes sense. So that one's also going to go on the shelf of shame as well. And I think that's it. I'm just looking at, because yeah, I generally don't tend to keep a lot of the books that I dislike just because I don't see the point, but I kind of love this idea of setting up a shelf of shame. So the only sucky thing is I don't have anything to like make it look fancy, I suppose, but essentially the idea of this is to put the books upside down on the shelf of shame. So I'm going to take Bones Deep and Knuckles Deep, and essentially instead of them going this way on the shelf, they're going to go this way on the shelf. So I'm actually going to make sure that it's like that. And so they go upside down like that. I will zoom you in later on and show you. I kind of want to go in order of like books that I DNF'd, so it looks kind of like staggery. So like I think I DNF'd that first, and then I think it was this book I didn't like next, so that one's gonna go in, which is How Does It Feel by Jeanene O'Reilly. And then I think it's gonna be Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I actually think Corrupt might be before both. I think Corrupt might be before all of them. I feel like I read that pretty early this year. And then it was Our Infinite Fates, which is kind of funny because putting them upside down doesn't really do much because you can still kind of read them anyway because the spines are like obviously sideways. So, and then we have the Coven. So that's that. I do have bookends somewhere, don't I? Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick a bookend in here so that they don't fall over. So yeah, this is going to be a very quick video because like I said, I don't keep a lot of the books that I don't like, but I thought that this was a fun idea. So decided to do this with the books that I do have. So even though this isn't a very long video and I don't have a lot of books that I've kept that I didn't like, I decided that I would do this anyway because this kind of is hilarious to me. So I'm going to quickly, I'll just move the camera and I'll move and I'll zoom you in so you guys can see what it looks like and see if I can just zoom you in from there. Okay. So ignore my face, we're just going to look at this. You can see them there. So it is kind of hard to tell that they're upside down, obviously, because like spines are meant to be like, they're kind of sideways, but you can kind of tell, like especially with the ones that are like trad pubbed. So you can see that that's at the top. They're like business, whatever you want to call it. That's that. I know that's a very, very, very quick video, but I just thought it would be funny. I want to get Book Bestie, because this was Book Bestie's idea, and Book Bestie was saying he was going to get me like a little thing to slot in that says shelf of shame, and I was like, please do, because that'll be hilarious. I thought it would be an absolute crack up, but that is that shelf. And I suppose we can just finish the video down here so that you guys can see that. I mean, this is also blocking out a lot of light for you, so let me just move that around. Is that better? Oh, there we go. Hang on, I'll actually move and let's zoom you back in so you guys can see this better. There you go. Now you can see that way better. So we have Corrupt, Bones and Knuckle Deep. So Corrupt by Penelope Douglas, Bones and Knuckle Deep by Ivy Graves, How Does It Feel by Jeanene O'Reilly, Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stevens, and Laura Steven, and The Coven by Harper L. Woods. Okay, so I'm just going to end the video down here because you can still see that in the shot. That is the shelf of shame. Thank you to Book Bestie, Captain Ventress, for giving me this idea. I think it is absolutely hilarious. Like I said, generally I don't tend to keep the books that I disliked unless they're like a soft DNF. For example, like recently I've just softly DNF'd Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. That was Book Bestie's and I's buddy read, our most recent buddy read, and I just really am not here for it. I don't know if it's because it's a dark romantic comedy. I think I would like it, but not at the moment. I'm just not in the mood for that because I have read dark romance in the past like few days and I've been obsessed with it. So I think it's the comedic element in this dark romance that is kind of throwing me off, because usually when I read a dark romance, the darker the better for me, like Haunting and Hunting Adeline, for example, like Pen Pal, Grimstone, which I've like read all these kind of recently. What else was there that I read? That is the end of today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy it, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. If you feel so inclined, comment down below which books you have DNF'd recently, which books you just did not rate very highly, and share this video out if you feel so inclined to do so. It just really helps get my videos out there and so I can reach more of you beautiful people. If you don't already follow me on, don't mind my hair, I've got the fan on, it is so hot. I'm so sorry if you guys can hear it, but it is like 36 degrees today. It is hot. If you guys aren't already, please follow me on TikTok and Instagram. They'll be linked on the screen as well as in the description below. As well as if you guys want any annotated books, my Etsy shop is always linked in the description box below, as well as I have started popping it on the screen as well, the username. So head over there and, you know, purchase some books. I have lots that I have annotated that are listed on there. I just redid it, and I think it's like 50 something variations or something. I have over 50 different books I think that you can buy from me that are annotated. So I always do this. I get on the camera, I love talking to you guys, even though I'm talking to myself literally, but I love talking to you guys, and then I just start yapping away. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.